In this video, we'll look at some of the most interesting contract clauses in NBA history. From player bonuses to unusual restrictions, these contracts have been memorable. When it comes to professional sports, the contracts that players sign are always filled with intriguing clauses and bonuses. In this video, we'll look at some of the most interesting contract clauses in NBA history. So stay tuned. Player performance clauses in NBA contracts. In any profession, some outlandish rules and regulations will be put in place to incentivize workers to give their best performance. The NBA is no exception, with teams coming up with absurd player performance clauses to get the most out of their players. Some of these clauses are straightforward and make sense, like bonus payments for players who make the All-Star team or win an MVP award. However, other clauses are a little more bizarre and seemingly pointless. For example, did you know that some NBA contracts include a provision that awards players money every time they catch a fly ball? Or how about the player who gets an extra bonus for every three-pointer they make in a game? While these clauses may seem silly, they can effectively motivate players to give their best performance. It's important to remember that these clauses exist primarily to ensure that players put in their best effort on the court. And while they may seem absurd at face value, in hindsight, they often prove quite valuable. Why do teams include these clauses in contracts? Teams include these clauses in contracts to incentivize player performance. They want their players to be as successful and reach the best performance levels possible. The clauses can provide bonuses for making the playoffs, winning a championship, or being named an All-Star. They can also provide penalties for missing games due to injury or disciplinary reasons. These clauses are important because they help ensure the team gets the most out of its players. Some players might not be as motivated to perform at their best without them. The clauses provide an added incentive to do well and help the team succeed. How superstars make bizarre demands that teams have no other choice but to meet. To get the best players in the world, teams will often go above and beyond to ensure their demands are met. This can include offering a player more money than they're worth, agreeing to weird clauses in their contract, or even meeting some of the more outlandish demands that a superstar might have. While most requests may seem outlandish and excessive, teams have no choice but to agree if they want to get the player in question to sign with them. This is especially true when competition for a player's signature exists. In those instances, teams will often do whatever it takes to get an advantage over their rivals. As a result, we've seen some pretty bizarre contract clauses throughout NBA history. Some examples of interesting contract clauses in NBA history. Bill Walton wants his Bruce Springsteen fix. The San Diego Clippers offered Bill Walton a 7-year, $7 million contract. It also had the most intriguing provision in NBA history, in which he demanded 8 tickets for each of the 7 sold-out performances of Bruce Springsteen scheduled for the Sports Arena in late October. He was entitled to make such a request. At that time, the price of a ticket increased to $200. Walton made it plain that he desired the team's assistance in obtaining the golden tickets. He'll pay the full price for them. The group agreed. Perhaps they believed that if Walton got his Springsteen fix, he would propel them to victory, or at the very least, make them a contender. Walton, unfortunately, only appeared in 14 games during his debut campaign with the Clippers. Additionally, they were never able to advance to the playoffs. They at least established a reputation as a squad that would be open to accommodating a star player's requests. Jordan's Love of the Game clause. The Love of the Game clause in Michael Jordan's contract allowed him to play basketball whenever and wherever he pleased. Jordan could pull up a random gym and intimidate some rookies, or a random park into trying out the chain nets. Jordan should be kept to a minimum during the season, given his notoriety and position as the best player ever. His team's performance in the league's popularity might suffer from an injury. Jordan, though, was aware of the better option. He didn't want to appear like a caged animal in the world's prying eyes. While engaged in the game, he feels calm and wishes to engage in as much playing as possible. Steve Novak and dog hair. A dog clause was a part of Steve Novak's contract while playing for the New York Knicks. Novak is allergic to dogs, although there are no concrete reports on the severity of his allergy. The fact that the Knicks forbade him from possessing one suggests that it is quite severe. If the Knicks ever learned that he had a dog, they would fine him $100,000, with the proceeds going to a shelter for animals. Magic Johnson, $25 million, 25 years. The $25 million deal that Magic Johnson signed in 1984 for 25 years looks to be a publicity gimmick and a show of support for the public. Because of inflation, $1 million in 1984 won't be worth the same amount in 2009. Johnson was to get a lifetime contract and a token of appreciation from the Lakers management. The Lakers did not trick Magic. To be clear, Jerry Buss, the former Lakers owner, made him a 3-year offer in 1992 for $19.66 million, with a $14.66 million balloon payment due due for the 1994-1995 season. Due to his HIV diagnosis, Magic missed the 94-95 season, although he still received compensation. Zion Williamson's weight clause. The New Orleans Pelicans and Zion Williamson agreed to a 5-year, $193 million agreement. If the forward complies with the contract's weight clause, this sum might increase to $231 million. Williamson must routinely weigh under the clause. The total of his weight and body fat percentage must be less than 295 for him to receive the full value of his contract. The strange part of the clause isn't that the Pelicans are instructing Zion to eat less New Orleans food. Additionally, similar weight and fitness requirements were included in the contracts of players like Mario Chalmers and Glenn Davis. Williamson's weight clause is strange because 295 feels like a disproportionately large figure given his height. LeBron James is recorded as weighing 250 pounds and standing 6'8". Williamson ought to weigh less than James because he is around 2 inches shorter than James. Williamson's weight of 295 appears to be a refutation of the claim that he weighed 300 pounds while on vacation. It does not appear to be a figure arrived at after rigorous research. The impact these clauses have on the sport as a whole. There are a few possible impacts these weird clauses have on the sport. For starters, they can be seen as a way for teams to overpay players to get them to sign. In some cases, it's clear that the player is not worth the money offered, but the team is willing to do whatever it takes to bring them on board. Alternatively, these clauses can be viewed as a way for teams to ensure that their superstar players stay with them for the long haul. By putting together an attractive offer with unique benefits, teams can ensure that their top players don't end up signing with a rival squad. Ultimately, these clauses are another aspect of the NBA's craziest contract negotiations. They often lead to teams overpaying for players or agreeing to strange demands, but they also add a bit of excitement and intrigue to the sport. Next, in other related news, LeBron James shares major compliment for Jordan Poole. Jordan Poole, a young guard who recently signed a significant contract extension to remain with the Golden State Warriors, knows that this year's expectations are different. Poole, who had a breakout campaign last year, was crucial to the Warriors' championship run, particularly when Steph Curry had to start the postseason off the bench due to injury. Poole is hoping to build on what was a wonderful breakout season last year, now that he is in a much bigger role with greater expectations and scrutiny. LeBron James, who plays for the Los Angeles Lakers, praised Poole for his performance in the first half of Golden State's game against the Phoenix Suns. James understands Poole's game after seeing him play live on opening night. James tweeted that he was watching this matchup of Western Conference heavyweights. The Lakers have a lot of work to do if they want to make the playoffs this year, given their 0-3 start to the season. While LeBron and his club are committed to doing that, they are unquestionably far behind the top Western Conference squads. LeBron is thrilled with the team's rookie guard, Jordan Poole, who plays for the Golden State Warriors and the current champions. Poole keeps producing for Golden State despite the heightened scrutiny and pressure. In conclusion, weird clauses in contracts are just another aspect of the NBA's craziest contract negotiations. They often lead to teams overpaying for players or agreeing to strange demands, but they also add a bit of excitement and intrigue to the sport. What kind of impact do you think these clauses have on the game as a whole? Thanks for watching. If you like this video, like and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. And don't forget to leave a comment below letting us know what you think. We love hearing from you.